You're listening to the Uplevel Your Online Business Show, where wealth is empowering, purpose is crucial, and high vibes are non-negotiable. And now, here's your host, certified business coach and practical woo strategist, Sara J Loureiro.
Woohoo! All right, welcome back to another episode of the Uplevel Your Online Business Show. This episode is going to be a little bit more candid, and I don't quite 100% know where it's going to be going at this point, but I felt like it was really important to share this with you, especially because everything online in terms of your business is all about income goals lately, right? It's all about everyone who's hitting the 10K months and the 100K months and all of those things. And when I first started out in online business, I think I completely avoided all of that, and I kind of like put it all to the side, and I focused on me and what I truly wanted. And then I went through a period of really wanting the income goals and really loving being around that big energy. And now I feel like I'm going through another phase where I'm starting to reassess and kind of evaluate how important each piece really, really is. And I hope that this episode will really inspire you to know what your priorities are. So let's begin, shall we? So you might laugh at me, but once again, wanted to be candid and transparent in this episode. But the very first time that I hit a month that was around $7,000 in my business, I was immediately like, I need to buy a designer handbag. And I remember kind of just like looking through all of these handbags and really feeling into which one I really wanted to purchase for myself. And it was interesting because once I hit that goal, I looked at the handbags and I was like, I don't think I want one of these. And it was a really interesting reaction for me because I had seen so many people online have that as like the status of what it meant to, like be really successful in your business. And for a long time, I thought that was, everyone's measure of success, right? It's just like, you have a really big launch, you go to a designer store and you buy a whole bunch of stuff from there. And luckily for me, I was able to kind of like reprioritize myself relatively quickly. And I had this huge shift and I started to question all of these things that I thought that I wanted. Another really big thing in the online space is, this like quote unquote luxury lifestyle and this first class lifestyle. And a few years back, I was also really, really curious about this and how it would actually look. And so from that very first $7,000 month where I totally thought that I was going to buy this like really pretty handbag, and then I decided that I didn't want one, that started to have me question, exactly what I wanted out of my business. And one book that was incredibly life-changing for me in terms of all of this stuff, in terms of like income goals and what you should focus on, was The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. And after I read that book, it kind of just validated a lot of the things that I was already feeling, in that your income goals should really fund your ideal life versus just kind of being this arbitrary goal because you want to prove something to someone else. And I'm not trying to say that everyone who is wanting to make 7 figures wants to prove something to someone else. I'm sure that they can probably find a lot of really, really amazing reasons why they want to do that. And there's a ton of really, really amazing, successful, mega successful online entrepreneurs who I highly respect, who are absolutely killing it in terms of their income. But what I am suggesting, and I think one thing that book really, really helped me with, was defining what is your income level that allows you to truly operate an incredibly freedom-based life that ultimately gives you that really great income, but at the same time allows you to go on with your life in a way that just feels really fulfilling to you. And not everyone wants to travel first class. And not everyone wants to have designer handbags. Not everyone wants to have the brand new Mercedes. Not everyone wants to go into Versace and buy whatever they want there. And if those are the things that you want, all the power to you. If you really do want big mansion with a pool, once again, all the power to you. But once you start to prioritize what it is that you want and desire in your business and in your life, and how that coincides with income, how that coincides with your time, that's what's going to be the biggest game changer for you. And I have a really close online business friend who she actually desires to work a lot less than I do. And even at one point in time for me, I saw my priority shift and I saw myself questioning the amount of hours that I work on my business because, she was making a really great income by only working, I think it was like 2 or 3 hours a day, if that. And I started to question like, ooh, maybe I need to do that, right? Maybe I shouldn't, quote unquote, shouldn't be working as much as I do. And thankfully, once again, when I got really, really clear on what my priorities are, I realized that I actually really love working a 30-hour work week. I absolutely love it. If I work less than that, I feel like I'm itching to create more. I'm by nature, I'm a creative person. By nature, I'm someone who also enjoys sharing really impactful information with other people. And so if you are filling your work hours and really working overtime for money that isn't actually going to contribute to your happiest, healthiest version of yourself, then it's time to reconsider, why do I feel like I need that amount of money anyways, right? Why do I feel like I need to go towards that amount? And with my friend, it was really clear to her that she wanted to spend most of her hours at the beach. She just wanted to be able to enjoy the beach as much as possible and do nothing as much as possible. Versus that's not my personality, and that's totally okay. And I mean, if you decide that you want a 50-hour work week, and if that is the thing that absolutely lights you up, then by all means, go for that. If you are the person who wants the mansion and wants the first-class lifestyle, then by all means, go for something like that. But also from the same thread, if you have made all of your calculations in terms of how much you need for your business, for your team, how much you need for your business to pay your bills, and that all amounts to $6,000 a month, and that feels really, really great to you, then that's your ideal income too. And so you need to let your own internal compass dictate you versus having the outside world dictate you. And I'll never forget when I started making these calculations for myself, it was almost like a huge pressure had been lifted off of my shoulders, because it was just like, oh, well, I don't need to aspire to that thing that all of these other people are aspiring to. I just get to do how much I believe and really work towards an income goal that I truly believe that is going to be the income amount that allows me to do everything that I want to do with my life. And that really allows me to also have a freedom-based life as well, right? Because if you're planning on doing a business that's in the multiple 7 figures, there's probably going to be a lot of sacrifice that goes into the time that you spend on your business versus the time that you spend in your relationships, especially in your seasons of hustle. Now, I'm calling this podcast episode, What Are I Measuring This Year Instead of Income? And so I feel like I've talked thus far just about income goals and why they might not necessarily be the greatest for you, and why a lot of the times we really do have to reprioritize them. And by the way, a lot of the times I also have to reprioritize income goals with my clients in terms of making sure that they have higher income goals, because a lot of the times whatever it is that they believe that they need just really isn't enough to fund their freedom-based lifestyle. And then they start thinking bigger and bigger and bigger, and their income goals are increased, which I think is so beautiful. But just remember that it kind of just goes both ways. Now, I tend to be a really big goal-setting type of person. I love to challenge myself. I love to take myself to that edge of really feeling safe / at risk, because I know that that is my biggest place of growth. And I know that some of my best clients and most successful clients also feel this way. So this is for all of you as well. And instead of just purely focusing on those income goals this year, and I really do feel like during the pandemic, because there was not a whole lot else to focus on, that became a big focus for me. But now that we're kind of in this, I don't know if I can even say post-pandemic world, but hopefully by the time that this comes out, it's going to be a post-pandemic world. I have kind of reprioritized and reevaluated what it is that I truly want for myself for this year. And if it's not to grow my income, I'm totally okay with that. And I think it's so beautiful to have seasons of hustle and have seasons of flow. And I think that right now, I still am growing my income. I still am, like adding on more team members and trying other things. However, my number one priority this year is actually to travel. And this excites me so much because I have not been able to travel for the past 2 years. I also have a 2.5-year-old. So it's been a long time that I haven't really felt my own independence as an individual and especially as a mom. And this is my season of, putting that first, putting myself first in terms of being able to go back home, being able to travel to different places and to truly be able to enjoy that aspect of my life. And I truly believe that we cannot have more than one ultimate priority at a time. And obviously, our families always come in top priority. Our self-care, our own self-love, all of those things come in top priority as well. But for me personally this year, instead of, being really, really rigid with income goals or really being really rigid with business goals, I am putting as a top priority travel and really being able to spend more time in my own feminine energy. And who knows, maybe that will ultimately even make the income soar. I don't know. I'm not at the end of 2022 yet, so I'll have to tell you then. But if it doesn't, I'm also okay with that because I've gotten to a point in my business where I am just doing so phenomenally well, and I don't want to continue to push my envelope in terms of my income goals or in terms of like the business growth. If that's going to come at the expense of really being able to explore the world in a little bit more and really get to explore a lot more of my time freedom. And so this is a really exciting thing because I think as overachievers and as high performers, we often get into this place of just like absolutely needing to focus 100% on the goal over and over and over again and being really, really rigid about it. And I'm now making this a different goal that I'm being rigid on. And it's a goal that I find that is currently just a lot more fulfilling than making sure that I'm filling X amount of spots in my group programs or making sure that I'm making X amount of dollars every single month. So it has been, and I'll tell you that it is difficult when you are balancing a lot of different priorities, when you're wanting to invest your money and save your money and spend your money and invest your money in your business and invest your money in crypto or whatever all of your goals are, or investing your time in your family or making sure that you have a lot more time with your friends. And this is why I love the wheel of life too, because it really helps us to see like where we are like really solidly advancing and where are the places in our lives that really that could use a little bit more love and care. And I am all about building holistic businesses and building businesses that feel good from the inside out. And if we're constantly just chasing number signs and if we're constantly just chasing income goals, I think we lose sight of how beautiful the journey is and just like how beautiful it is to truly enjoy the path that we're on as well. And so that's going to be a big priority for me in the next few months or so, is really enjoying that path and enjoying that trust in the path that I'm currently on. And I'm really excited to see how this can shift things for me in my business as well. So if you need that reminder to slow down, I have issues with saying the whole slow down because I don't believe that going on holidays or taking some time for yourself is actually going to slow down your income by any means. In fact, a lot of the times it can actually speed things up. But in terms of slowing down, what I'm trying to say is if you need that permission to not be so rigid with yourself and just enjoy a little bit more pleasure as a high achiever, this is your indication to do so. This is your little nudge to be a little bit more unapologetically yourself and be a little bit more playful in your life. And I'm really excited to come back on another episode to tell you, just how much this actually helped all of the other aspects of my business and my life as well. So this is a little bit of an experiment, letting go of the rigidity around measuring my success in terms of income or in terms of client goals. And I will let you all know how this goes very soon. So I would love to hear from you if you feel like you're constantly attached to goals and it's really hard for you to let go of them. Let me know by finding me on Instagram. You can find me at Sara without an H, J Loureiro. Let me know what you thought about this episode. If you love the podcast, I'd love it if you would subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who you know needs to listen to it. Thank you so much for listening, and I will catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Uplevel Your Online Business Show. If you enjoy our show and would like the show notes and free goodies about how to grow your online coaching business, head over to sarajloureiro.com for more information. We hope you'll tune in next time.